We're into the stories, ladies and gents. We're into them. We've just been talking Beatles, and we're so excited.
It's fun.
It's so cool.
It's fun.
It's so fun.
And you're a former California surfer girl for 14 years.
I am a little bit.
Yeah.
She's an honorary beach boy.
This is why I love it, because Paradise Cove was just down the beach from me. But
Before we get into being neighbours with the Beach Boys, we're going to just explain a little bit about what's going on. They're one of the most successful bands of all time. They've sold over 100 million records over 6 decades. And when the Beach Boys hit the music scene in '61, they introduced the world to the sun-kissed dream of California, and now they're telling their story in their own words in a brand new documentary.
Before we chat to founding member Mike Love and Bruce Johnson, who joined the band in 1965, let's take a look.
Round, round, get around, I get around, yeah.
3 brothers, Brian, Dennis, and Carl, a cousin, Mike Love, and our good friend, El Jardine. That's family to me.
We've known each other for a really long time, and there really is a great deal of fellowship in the group, and we've been through an awful lot.
I'm getting bugged driving up and down the
We ended up, it's kind of like a rivalry.
The Beatles, bring them on. Here are the Beach Boys.
If one group didn't have the other, would their music actually be what it became?
There's something about the way those individuals blended together. They're all part of it.
it's gonna make it that much better. We can say goodnight.
The fact that it was a family, that's where the success came from.
But wouldn't it be
You can't stop them talking. They're sitting down. Mike Love and Bruce Johnson are here. It's lovely to see you both. Thank you so much for coming in.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's fantastic for you
Good morning.
to have us.
Well,
Good morning.
both Kat and I have enjoyed this documentary, this extraordinary documentary about the history of the Beach Boys. There was so much in there that I didn't know. Like, we all across your music, we all loved your music, but the history of the band is the ups and downs, and there's been a fair few downs along the way, Mike, that I think is so compelling to watch.
Yes, it's really revealing of the dynamics and everything that went on, good and bad, with the Beach Boys. And Disney has done a phenomenal job. Disney Plus is going to air it, and it's just it's so wonderful because we have a Genesis book and a Disney documentary, and so we've never been as happy or as thankful for all the attention that their lifetime of music is.
We've got it all going on still. We're so blessed.
Yeah. It's the longevity of the band. Like, my boys are 6 and 8, and they sit in the back of the car singing Beach Boys. Like, to be able to span that many generations, and I think more than anything else, what your music does brilliantly is just celebrates the joy of life. It grabs it by the horns.
There's a psychologist in Sheffield, England, that tested with 2,500 people from this perspective of which songs make people feel the best. And Good Vibrations came in at #1. And there's a Bob Marley in there, and there's a Pink in there, and there's Earth, Wind and Fire had September. #1 and #8 was I Get Around.
Not bad stablemates.
Not bad.
Not bad stablemates.
There's a lovely bit in the documentary where you're talking about the writing of Good Vibrations as well, and how you wrote the lyrics to Good Vibrations, essentially in the car on the way to record the song.
While driving an XKE to the studio.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I dictated to my then wife, Suzanne, who's mother of Christian, who sings with us now, and my daughter Haley, and she has better writing than me anyway. So I said,
you can't write-hand drive as well, though, by the way.
I love the colorful clothes she wears, etc. And got the studio, handed it to Brian. He liked it. He handed it to Carl, who sang the lead, and I came in with I'm picking up good vibrations. She's giving me the excitations. Yep.
It's just magical.
It is. And Bruce, I mean, you're a happy accident almost when you joined the band.
Now, wait a second. We're not talking about his childbirth.
When I joined the band, Glenn Campbell was filling in for Brian. He wasn't available because he was becoming Glenn Campbell. So we needed someone else to fill in, I guess, for Brian. Mike called me. So who do you know? I called 12 people. I said, time's running out. Why don't I just show up? April 9th, 1965. Why don't I just show up in New Orleans and I'll do a couple shows?
And he was to play the bass, but he never played the bass. He's a keyboard player.
So you had to learn how to play the bass?
Carl asked me if I played bass. I said, oh, yeah, of course. No, I didn't play bass.
Just
but I'm no
black it.
fool all the time.
And wasn't there a whole thing where they said, how much do you want? And you said 300.
No, I wanted $250. And so I got a check for $3,000. I thought, I think I need this job instead of working at Columbia
Because they paid you
Records.
$250 every day. You were like
Yes.
$250
I thought it was for the whole thing.
Amazing.
You know, I was barely 21 years old, so I thought it was pretty cool.
I think there's watching the evolution of the band as well, though, Mike, from where it starts to the family and Bruce joining and where it goes to, and this extraordinary battle that there was that I wasn't aware of, and watching the documentary was gripping, between you and the Beatles. I didn't realise there was this sort of raging thing about who was the biggest band in the world, but when you got to the UK, all the fans over here voted you guys number one.
Yeah, these guys were.
New Musical Express did that.
NME Award.
On the strengths of Good Vibrations going to number one in 1966. So, but there's been nobody more successful than the Beatles.
Of course.
The McCartney and crew, you know. But the most interesting thing for me was to be in India with Marishi's, you know, invitation.
Yeah.
And all the Beatles were there. And
So you were there together?
Wow.
Yes. George Harrison and I had our birthdays in India in spring of '68.
Wow.
Yeah, we're both Pisces.
So,
Wow.
because
I bet that was relaxing.
It was amazing. We were
quite
meditating for hours at a time. They were doing a lot of music.
Yeah.
You know, back in the USSR, Paul McKing did the breakfast table saying, "Listen to this, Mike, playing from Miami Beach," you know.
Wow.
And yeah, it was a fascinating time.
And Bruce, you played the Beatles' Pet Sounds.
Here's what happened.
Is that right?
I came to England for a week of promotion. Pet Sounds was released in America, but it wasn't released yet. And, but Sloop John B was released, was climbing the charts. So I brought a copy over, and I wound up playing it in my suite for the Beatles twice.
Right.
You know, and so the feedback I got
Keith
was,
Moon introduced him to us.
I see.
well, the feedback that I got was that McCartney just took the vibe and the sweetness of Wouldn't It Be Nice and some of the harmony, and created Here, There, and Everywhere for the Revolver album because of Pet Sounds. But the more important thing is that there probably wouldn't be Pet Sounds in terms of spreading all around the world if Lennon and McCartney hadn't, you know, praised it so much. They were our promo guys.
Yeah.
It really put us out there.
Well, that's one of the interesting things when you watch the documentary and you look at it. There's a guy in there talking about the two bands and how actually it wasn't really a competition. You almost made each other better by listening to each other's
There
music.
was a rivalry, but it was a mutual admiration.
Yeah.
Yeah. We went to see him in Portland one time, and John Lennon's voice was out, and he says, "Oh, my voice is out, and when we get to this part, shake your heads, the girls will scream, and nobody will care." And we talked about girls and cars.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, because Harrison was into cars.
Yeah.
There is also a lovely bit in the documentary, and it's right at the very end when you all get back together.
And you know the beach. You know the beach.
Yes.
They do a great breakfast there.
I don't know if you knew Paradise Cove was the site of our original album cover in 1962.
Yeah. So it was so lovely to get you all back there.
That was great.
With all the stories that had been talked about. What was that moment like?
It was sweet. Brian was remembering things from our high school days that I had forgotten.
Really?
He reminded me of. And then we sang a little bit of a cappella, Their Hearts Were Full of Spring. We sang some Fun. We sang some Barbara Ann. That was, and it was just very sweet. That was a true, it showed the true love between us.
Yeah.
How is he doing? Because we know that there's been some news recently. He's not been well.
Well,
I mean, how's that all going?
Well, he needs special care, and we hope that, you know, his family and he have made the decision to do a medical thing. Well, look,
conservative.
I don't want to get into that too much, except to say that we wish him the best for he and his family, and we'll all see each other at the, you know, when I can't talk about where we're going to see each other. But
you nearly let something slip then.
Yes, I did, but damn it.
It's an exclusive. Get the thumb screws out.
No,
behave.
No, we're going to see each other soon, okay?
Yeah.
Is there going to be a gig? Is there going to be a performance?
We can't talk about it.
No,
that sounds definitely like there's going to be a gig and a performance.
Do I need to book a table at the Paradise Cave? What needs to happen?
No, we're just so thrilled that we're all celebrating So many years, what, 6 decades?
Yes, 6 years. We've had a few questions from our viewers. Scott says, what is your favourite Beach Boys song to sing?
For me, California Girls. I love it. It was the first song I ever recorded with the band. I just love his song.
Still got so much vibe. What about you, man?
And I wrote the words in the...
I'm watching him write the words. Well, come on, Mike, it's California Girls, write some words.
Yeah.
In the hallway.
Brian was doing the track, and I did the lyrics and sang the lead. And then Bruce came in and wish they all could be California. Anyway.
Do you have a favourite?
Yeah, I have about a lot of favorites.
Does it change?
Well, let's see. Not only California Girls, but Good Vibrations, I Get Around, Fun, 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 Help Me, Rhonda, Barbara Ann.
You're going to list them all.
Do It Again.
7.
Well, Estella
Kokomo. Kokomo is one of the biggest sing-alongs in our show.
Yeah. Love Kokomo.
So good.
Estella says, I was 18 when I saw the Beach Boys at Wembley Arena on the 6th of June in 1980. It was definitely fun, fun, fun.
Oh,
and it has been to meet you both today.
Lovely.
Thank you for coming in. Thank you on the way to the airport.
Pleasure.
Thank you for having
The documentary is really fascinating.
Yes, it's out May 24th, Disney+. You can stream it then. And we wish you guys well and safe travels back to the airport.
Thank you, Frank Marshall, for being putting it together.
And thank you.
And the team.
And thank you, Genesis, for doing a lovely book.
Yeah, we have a book. We have a book.
And when's the gig when you're all getting back together? When was that?
I didn't hear that. What?
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Supergirl.
I know. Now, it's competition time. And how do you fancy winning a totally tax-free £10,000 every month for 6 months? Jenny Faulkner has all the details. Come on, tell us more.